Everyone, it's Karen Baker here with another Tonic Craft Kit, and this time we are looking at craft kit number 20. This one is entitled Woodland Walk, and it is a really beautiful set of both pattern papers, cardstock, lots of lovely products, and a set of beautiful dies. The main die makes a gorgeous box. And then you've got extra dies that can go in the little spaces inside that cut them out, or you can have them left blank. You've also got stamps as well. I'm not going to run through the whole kit because you can access that very easily looking at the Tonic page or the craft kit page. It is a really beautiful, relaxing kit. The colours are just so reminiscent of a beautiful walk through woodland or a forest. So what I'm going to do today is show you 3 different ways of using your dies. You know that hopefully by now that I don't like doing things exactly how they are designed. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using the die cut piece, the main box. Now, if you were cutting this out as a box, you would need to cut out 2, and you would just pop them together and you'd end up with a really gorgeous box with a fluted top and really beautiful patterning folds that go along the top part, and then it is actually a hexagonal base. So instead of that, what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the tops, some of the bottoms, and some of the leftover negative pieces. So if I bring on what we're going to have a little look at doing, you'll hopefully have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Now, I have introduced a new colour. I've just introduced red because I felt I wanted something just to give these products a little bit more of a pop. So the only thing that you will have to add in if you want to make these is some sort of contrasting colour, and I've used red, which is the cherry. I think it's the cherry or the chili. I'll double check that. But that's from the Craft Perfect range from Tonic as well. So these are what I have created. Now, if I bring this up here, some of you will know that I love sewing, I love patchwork and quilting. And when I saw this shape here that comes out of the middle, okay, when you've cut out your card for your box, you can see here this bit is left over, and I absolutely loved the design. So we're going to have a go at making this card with the leftovers, and then we're also going to be showing you how you can quickly make these boxes. Now, these are exactly the same, but depending on the way that you fold them depends on the look that you get. And this way, this one just comes up, you can open it out, and then it actually just folds back in and it stays where it is. So that's a really useful little mini box. This one here, again, you can see the folds the other way. We've just added some of the pattern papers and a little bit of the jute string that comes with it as well, and that will create those boxes. And then lastly, this one here is a really simple card, and that is using the top of the die cut piece. So hopefully you can see here, this little bit here, that is combined. There are actually 6 of those to make this particular design, but you can make less if you want a less full rosette. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create with them. So let me get myself all together and let's get started. So to create the card, you're going to need some cardstock. I've got a little card blank here. I've also got a piece of the green cardstock. This is part of the kit. Some of the cardstock that comes with it, and you've also got this one, and this is some of the green that came with it. Okay, so you've got those. You're going to be using some of this gorgeous bark texture. You can see it's got a beautiful shimmer on the top, and on the back it's darker, so you can actually add things on top of it if you wanted to add some of the Nouveau products. This is a beautiful piece of paper, so you can need a little bit of that, and then you're just going to need your Woodland Walk paper, which obviously comes with the kit too. So we're going to start off with a small piece here. I'm just looking at this here. It's about 3.5 by 3.5 inches. That's the sort of size that we're looking at. And then go through with your die cut piece, the one that we've got originally, and you're just going to have to cut out lots of these. Obviously, as you're cutting them out, you're going to be left with the box, so you can create lots of boxes, so you're not wasting any of the stuff that you actually die cut. So once you've die cut all of those out, The best way that I found was to do a combination of both white and the coloured pattern paper. But obviously it's entirely up to you. If you want to create much more of a bold effect, you could put just coloured. And if you wanted to create more of a contrast, if you can see here, obviously I've just left these with the white underneath. You could put a contrasting colour, a black or a dark brown or whatever you wanted, and that would create a different pattern as well. These can be made into different patterns as well. This is just the one that I chose to use, but you'll obviously find more ways of using it. So to get started, you're going to need some glue. I've got my favourite Deluxe adhesive glue from Nuvo. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off roughly in the middle. So I'm going to get my piece, and these papers are double-sided. So it's really nice if you want to do something where you actually need an effect using both pieces, both sides of the paper. So pop that on. I'm going to put it roughly centrally. Okay, take that up a little bit. Okay, I mean there's no hard and fast rules, it's entirely the way you want to do it. And then we're going to get the same shape, because we're using the same shape throughout, and I'm just contrasting it with a white piece. So I'm just matching those little edges there, as you can see. So you just got the corners matching, and then what we're going to do is take the next shape and you're going to put it upside down. Again, I'm just doing white and then coloured and then white. So if we just keep doing this, and we're just going to choose randomly, choose whichever colours you like. Just put a few of them in, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end, because it's not going to be the most interesting thing to watch me putting all these over and over again. So we're just going to build that up. I'll do one more. And any pieces that are left overhanging, we're going to trim them at the end. Okay, so I'll continue on now, and then you'll see it after I've finished. Right, so I've stuck them all on, so I now just need to trim the edges. So you just need to go in. You might find it easier, depending on how close you want to get to the edge, to use a trimmer, because that would be nice and quick and simple. I'm just using a pair of scissors, try and get all these out the way. So we're just going to take each of the edges down. Okay, so I've got my little middle bit. Obviously, if you wanted to do it the whole way, you could do, but I just quite like the fact that I've got a top bit there with some white space. So next we just need to compile the cards. So I'm going to stick this bit onto my green mat. Oops, it'd help if I get the right way around. Okay, so make sure that's on. You can obviously add more layers, more mats, depending on what you wanted to do. Before I go to the final layer, I'm actually going to stamp my sentiment. Now, if you're worried about stamping a sentiment after you spent a long time actually making the main image on the card, get yourself a stamping tool. I really recommend the Tim Holtz Tonic stamping platform. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to use it as it is. I'm going to use my Nuvo hybrid ink in a black shadow. And then this is one of the stamps that come with the kit as well. It says love, which is a really pretty stamp. I'm just going to pop it on there. It may be that you want to put it on a little strip of cardstock. So again, just some gentle tapping all over, making sure that you've got ink. Again, lift it, angle it, and if you can see ink glistening over all of the areas of your stamp, you know you're good to go. So we'll pop that on, then we're just going to position it. Try and make sure I've got it straight. And then just give it a little press. You don't need to press too hard, but just make sure that you have pressed all over the image. Okay, and there's our little sentiment. So all we need to do now is pop it onto the main card. One of the reasons why I don't always stick it all together, particularly if I'm stamping, is if I mess up, then I haven't wasted the card blank as well. But if you've got something like the stamping platform, you're going to find that you're not going to make mistakes. You're not going to overstamp or understamp. Sometimes even if you're really experienced at stamping and you've got an ink pad that's on its way out or needs re-inking, it can be really frustrating when you get to the end of a project that you spent ages creating and your stamped sentiment doesn't come out perfectly. So that really is worthwhile investing in. Okay, so that's my card. Right, so we're now going to go on to our next card, which is the Rosette Love card. So to make this card, what we're going to need to do is die cut several of these main images. Now, it may be that you don't want quite so full a rosette. In that case, you might get away with 4. I actually cut 6 of them out, and you might think, goodness, that's a real waste. But actually, if you make the smaller boxes that we're going to come on to in a minute, you can make the smaller boxes from the bottom, and the top bits you can make the rosette. So you're not actually going out of your way and wasting card. So I'm just going to show you how to do it basically. I'm not going to make the whole card because it is fairly straightforward once we've got past this bit. So once we've cut out these with our die cutting machine, I use my Tonic Tangerine. What we're going to do is just get some scissors, and you're just going to be cutting from both of those little points. So you're literally just going to be cutting straight across these points. If you try and get it quite neat, it doesn't matter so much for the card, but if you're making the box afterwards, it does look better if you take a little bit of care just cutting those off. So we're going to end up with that. We'll put that aside for our boxes, but we're going to be left with this. Now, all of these have a little tab. And that tab, if you're making the box, you would just attach that tab to the same place on the other side, because it uses 2 of these to make 1 box. But all we're going to do is attach them together. Now, you can probably see here, my cardstock is slightly different, but it's going to show you what we're going to do anyway. So you would just fold the tab up, make sure you folded that. And then before we glue it together, let me just move that out of the way. Before we glue it together, what we're going to do is fold it, and you're just going to fold that way. So those are going to be your valley folds. In between, it's like a heart shape. So you're going to have your valley folds there, and you're going to have your mountain folds in between. So you're creating a concertina effect, an accordion effect like that. And then all you're going to do is stick these together. So if I grab my glue, you're just going to do that. Now you do want to leave it to dry. I got quite impatient when I was making mine, and I ended up ripping several of them. I mean, I stuck them together, it was fine, but it's just a pain if you're spending more time than necessary. Just hold it together, and it will stick quite quickly. The glue grabs, it's a good strong glue. So you're going to end up with lengths like that. Once you've got the amount that you want, I'll just be a little bit careful folding this before it's actually dried. You're just going to fold these together, and if I hold the points, you can see what's going to happen here. Now, there are several ways of doing it. When I first tried this, what I actually did was I put a little bit of double-sided tape in this pot here, so I actually ended up sticking all of these little edges together. Now that did take quite a while, and it is a bit of a pain. So what you might want to do is just do them all together. I mean, obviously you could make a fan like this. This could be a tutu, a little skirt. There's so many things that you could do with it. But all I recommend is that you get something like a circle. I actually used the base. So I had a spare base. So all I did was I cut out the base, and I actually used that to put these together. So what I did was I put double-sided tape all along the whole part of this. It does need a real grab, because depending on the weight of the cardstock, there will be quite a bit of resistance to it staying put. And then all I did was, once I'd got as many as I wanted, and obviously you're going to take them all the way around, I just stuck them on there, And then what you end up with is this effect. So you can do it the whole way around. So I would just do double that amount. And because you are sticking something over the top of that, you're not going to see any of the bits underneath. So if it's not quite precise or it's a little bit uneven, it really doesn't matter. You can see I've got some of the Woodland Walk paper on the back, and you can see some of that gorgeous bark effect paper that comes in the kit as well. And then I just die cut 2 circles and I stamped my sentiment on the middle. So that's nice and easy. It's just a fun way of using the box slightly differently. And now we'll look at the 2 little boxes and how to make those. So to make these boxes, you're going to need 2 of the main shape. Obviously, we've trimmed the top off like I showed you how to do with the Rosette card. And you're also going to need, I mean, you can use wet glue. Sometimes with boxes, if you're messing around with them a lot, it's a good idea to have some really super strong tape, and red liner tape is great for this job. So I've put red liner tape on these top ones here, and I'm just going to show you how to do the folding for both of these boxes. So let's move those out of the way. Best way of getting a really good result with your boxes is making sure that you fold all of the lines well. It makes it much easier to put them together. So wherever you've got lines, and you're going to need to know where you're folding, I'm just going to do the main straight lines. And then the bottoms, just fold those up. Right, so we've got our bits together, and then all we're going to do is we're going to pop them together. Now it's entirely up to you how you do them, whether you want to stick these first. I tend to find that I find it easier to do the bottoms. I'm just going to glue these so you can see what I'm doing, but I would probably use red liner tape for these. So you're going to pop these together. So add some glue on the bases. We're just going to make sure that those go together. Try and be precise. You'll get a much better result if you match the edges up carefully. And again, exactly the same on this side. The thicker your cardstock, you're going to have to just be a little bit more patient in waiting for the glue to hold. See if I can get away with that. Yeah, I think so, just about. Okay, so once you've got your bases like this, you're going to be able to pop them together, and you can see here that these tabs are just going to go and tuck into the matching piece on the opposite side. So let's just fold them together, fold those down, and make sure these ones are folded. You will need a little bit of glue on the bottom as well. Just fold these over. So if we take tape off, the beauty of wet glue is that you have a little bit more sort of wiggle room, so you can actually move it around a little bit, which on the base can be a little bit helpful. Let's pop a little bit on the base. So we're going to match the bases in first, make sure that they are all matching, and then we're just going to go in and stick those little edges together. Obviously you're going to be much more careful, and you're going to take time making sure that they're lined up beautifully. I'm just doing this super speedily. There we go, match them up. Okay, so this is what we're going to do irrespective of which box is. So you can see our 2 shapes here. All it is going to be is depending on whether you push these little bits here in or you leave them out. So you're going to have to sort of push against them no matter which way you do it. I'll do the top way first. So you're just going to do that. If you can see what I'm doing, I'm kind of pushing this side towards, and I've got my thumb here just to support that. Again, same with that one, same with that one. You're just pushing it both sides, and then you're going to end up, we done there, more or less all the way around. Okay, so See, and then you're just going to push down. If we do that, what you'll find is if we're careful and we just sort of make sure they're all folded, pushed, they will go well together. You just have to sort of move them around a little bit. Once you've got them in that position, they will stay like that, and it's very easy to move them up and down. Obviously then we would just cut out, using our die cutting machine, some of the pattern paper from the Woodland Walk pack, and you would be using this shape. There is another smaller die which layers inside, but we're going to use the larger one, and that's how we would create that. If you want the other way around, all you're going to do is you're going to pop these on the inside. So we would push it down rather than, so we would push it inside. So if you can see here, I'm just pushing it inside. So again, use your thumb to support the little bit of card and then just push against it. I know it's much harder to do it when I've already done it the other way, but if I can, more, there we go, start getting somewhere. Okay, can you see now? So we're starting to get sort of that petal, sort of teardrop shape, and then you would go all the way around and you would do that until you have created that kind of effect. Obviously I haven't completed it all the way around, but you can see the difference between the two. Now this one, if you do this design, that will not stay together. Okay, you are going to need something like the jute you get in the kit to actually mean that it's going to stick together. Obviously when it was designed to be a beautiful box with the top element to it, which is this bit here. So when you push it together, you've obviously got that bit there on the top, and you can actually put your twine or whatever you want as decoration. But because we haven't got the top, you would need to secure it. So that's how to do 3 different ways with using the beautiful Woodland Walk kit, which is kit number 20. I hope you've enjoyed this little look at some of the different ways that we can use it. I'm sure you'll come up with lots of different ways. There is also, I know it's not precisely the right shape because Star Trek one is sort of slightly more curved and it's elongated on one side, but this would make a fun Star Trek card as well. So there are lots of ways of thinking about this. I do hope that you will check out the Tonic Craft Kit webpage, because all the other videos from the team and other people who've got the kits will be posted on there. Don't forget, when you've made your makes, tag us, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, or on our Facebook page, that we have a great community there. Do join in and show us what you've made. We would love to see. Thanks so much for being with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care then, bye.